Alright, so I traced out this football guy, made him into a silhouette, and up here I traced the football, but to me the shape feels a little bit funny, so always feel free to make little adjustments if the silhouette doesn't look right after you've traced it, even if you traced it really accurately. So I'm going to make these both black, and I'm going to turn off the stroke, the outline. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to hide the photo, and I want my document to be set up the size that I want my finished project to be. But before I do that, this demo is going to show like the 4 panels or rectangles that the silhouettes go in front of. So I'm going to size it in just a minute once I decide on my rectangles here. So I'm going to close this. We'll call this silhouette. I'm going to add a new layer that will go below the silhouette layer. And I'll lock the silhouette layer. Just for now, I'll move it later. Using the rectangle tool, I'm going to create a elongated rectangle. If I want the corners to be rounded, I can use these little circles and I can round those out. You don't have to. Clicking on the gradient here, I'm just going to then click on my shape. Now it won't let me click on the shape because I have the stroke selected. I have to check the fill, and then I can click on the shape. I could just do this as a top to bottom gradient. I would avoid doing a sideways gradient. Okay, I would avoid doing a sideways gradient. If you do that, it's going to make it feel unbalanced. If you have an idea where you specifically want to use it that way, please let me know. What I like to do is make a reflected gradient. So I'm going to bring this up just a little bit, and maybe I'll set this to a slightly different gray. When you're choosing your colors right now, under the color selections, I have this set for hue, saturation, and black, HSB. That's kind of a nice way to be able to consistently choose your colors. And then I'm going to drag this up just a little bit and click on the line just outside the line. You see that plus show up. Creates another anchor point or a color point. And I can drag that to a different spot. Drag the white one down, and now I have like a reflected gradient. And I can move that white or lighter color wherever I want it to be. And I can customize this however I want as well. Do this part first and keep it gray. We're going to add color on top of it. So I'm going to now option drag. Option drag. Option drag. Now the trick is they're not aligned perfectly. I just kind of eyeballed it. If I hold shift and select them all under properties, I can choose this vertically align the top, so all of the top ones will be aligned up here. And under this little menu option, I can horizontally distribute the center so they're all spaced evenly. You can also try using the smart guides to do that. At this point you might be thinking, well, how do I get the color the way I want it? I'm going to open up this layer and I'm going to lock each of these. Using the rectangle tool, I'm going to make a new rectangle directly over top, and let's go ahead and turn on Smart Guides. It'll help us here. Make a rectangle, and now I just fill it with a color. The whole thing. Let's just fill that with a color. New shape over top, and then on properties, I'm going to click on the word opacity and change the blending mode. Let's try multiply. There we go. You can play with different ones to see what's going to work best. Multiply seems to work pretty well here. I can then make a copy of this rectangle and change the color of it. That way you know your gradient is the same all the way through. And then of course, once those are all set up, I can take my silhouette, I can move it, I can resize it, I can rotate it, so he's going outside of the frame a little bit. And then the last thing I have to figure out here is my page. So I'm going to take my rectangle tool, drag it over everything. We'll set it so I can see where things are at by turning off the fill. And then just like we've done before, object, artboards, fit to selected art. Now, this has 4 columns. Feel free, let me unlock this for a minute, to do things where it's kind of a grid. And again, having those Smart Guides on at some point can be helpful. Alright, so feel free, gradients would need changed. But you could do something like this if you wanted to. And then have, if you've got somebody diving and somebody jumping, that might be kind of a cool effect. They don't have to be rectangles, they could be 4 boxes creating a grid. Okay. This is kind of the foundation. They also could be irregular, so they can be this kind of thing. They don't have to be boxes at all. They could be circles. Maybe you're doing something that has lots of like Olympic sports. You could do circles. You can play with the blending mode of the circles. Okay. I'll do another video later on as far as adding textures and things, but hopefully that gives you some ideas, and I'll post this here in just a moment.